Good evening to you all. I'm absolutely awed to be here. One, because of the kind of work that we're going to see, the kind of results that we're going to see in a moment, but two, because of this event itself. What a magnificent event. As Diane said, 8 years. I remember her getting the very first of them off the ground. I know it wasn't easy. And so I think right at the outset, I'd like you to give a round of applause, not just to Diane, but also to the staff who worked so hard to put this event on. As I say, I am absolutely awed because I know that those who will receive awards tonight and those who were shortlisted have worked so hard and have been so diligent. And for my part, well, I worked quite hard, but I wasn't so diligent. I didn't keep all of my schoolwork, but when I go up into the loft sometimes, I see some of it, and my favourite bit was a history essay that I wrote, and it ran for 4 pages, and I was quite pleased with it. And at the bottom, the teacher read it, and he said, C-. This would have been much better had you actually known anything. And I actually saw him later. He'd retired by then, and I said, sir, it turned out all right. I'm a journalist now. I write thousands of words. I still know nothing, and they pay me. I'm not going to speak for long, but I want to just quickly tell you a little bit about my late mother. She died in '99, and we have a family story that we always enjoy, and it was about the day my mother went to see the Director of Education. Because the council, in their wisdom, decided there were 2 schools near us, and they decided that my elder sister should go to the school that wasn't so good. This was back in the 70s, so surprise, surprise. And my mother, well, she wasn't hardwired to put up with that, really. And so she wanted to see the Director of Education. His office didn't want him to see her. So she went to see him. She had no appointment, but she took with her 4 things. She took my brother. She took my sister. She took a Bible, because she was a God-fearing woman. And she took a food thermos. Now, I might have to explain for the younger ones here what a food thermos is, because you've got microwaves and you've got takeaways. You don't need food thermoses. But there was a time when I was young, if you were a self-respecting, middle-aged West Indian woman, you went nowhere without a food thermos. And you filled it with fried chicken, and you had rice and peas in there, and it made sure that you were prepared. And so she went to the education offices, and she sat outside of his office with her children and with her Bible and with her food thermos. And they ignored her. Because why should they pay any attention to her? She was just a mad old black woman, and she'd soon go away. And they thought that until mid-morning, when she brought out the food thermos. And she gave the children something to eat, and she read her Bible, and they got to lunchtime, and they ignored her, because she was just a mad old black woman, and why didn't you bother with her? And she took out the food thermos, and she fed the children, and they ignored her. And then it got to the time when they thought that they might be about to go home. And she reached for the food thermos. And it was at that point that they realized there was still a hell of a lot of food in that food thermos. And so they had 2 choices at that point. They could either go and call the police, or they could call the Director of Education. And they thought they'd better call the Director of Education. And so my mum went to see him, and within 10 minutes, my sister's school had been changed to the school she wanted. I still don't know how she did it. I think maybe she gave him a chicken wing. But somehow she managed it. And why am I telling you this story? It's not to boost the sale of food thermoses. It's because it tells you something about the mindset at the time. My mother believed that education is the magic bullet. We have to talk too much about bullets in our community, but she believed that education is the magic bullet. It's the thing that will easiest get you where you need to go, particularly for people who look like many of you and for people who look like me. And so I think you know that as well. That's why you've done so well. That's why you're here. You've obviously worked hard, you're diligent, you know what an education can do. So I want you to do a favor for me, all the young ones here. When you meet someone who doesn't seem to know that, or people who've forgotten that, I want you to tell them that. I want you to tell them why you've worked the way you have, why you've got the results you have. Because they won't listen to me. I'm 50, I might as well be 100. They won't take it from me, but they might just take it from you. And if you can do that, and if you can get one more person to think a bit more seriously about their education, you'll have done yourself a favour, you'll have done all of us a favour, and you'll make me a very happy man. Now, I'm not going to go on for much longer because this is going to be a great evening. We have a room full of excellence here. There are no losers here. There will be people who are judged first amongst equals, perhaps, but there are no losers. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard. You make us all so very proud. And congratulations to all of you.